Alright guys, Scrappy again. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Shotzzy has revealed the extent of the grind that OpTic Texas have been on going into the World Championship and exactly why so many of the pros over the last few days have been grinding Counter-Strike among other games. Dashy says that all the CS has been grinding over the last couple of weeks outside of the cards they've been working on as well. That's been even helping him play better Call of Duty when it comes to the end of the season. Huke though says he's just locked in watching VOD going into the World Championship. Very much enjoyed to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Starting with a couple of interesting things. This is TJHaLy at the Grand Prix yesterday. I'm actually here in Montreal for it this weekend. And he was wearing more 100 Thieves match. This happened a few rounds ago as well. I imagine it's an Adidas thing, you know, the partnership they've got over there, why this is happening. But still, like, for the second time this is happening now. You got a Formula 1 driver in 100T match. I will say, whatever you think 100T, Hoodie Org and all this, like, they do have pull when it comes to merchandise and stuff. So I do respect that. And also, they've pulled a few event championships over the last couple of seasons. These are your CDL Major wins by team. Some, of course, may surprise you if you're very new to the scene to see Los Angeles Gorillas in here. They did indeed manage to somehow win Major 2 back in Vanguard in the Minnesota event. They took down FaZe in the finals. In fact, quite a few of these wins. Surge's win was also against FaZe in the finals, wasn't it? Also that year. So that's when Pred and Sib won their first championship. Rocker got a victory as well, famously when they made the Ultra reverse sweep against Toronto Ultra, coming down from 4-0 to win 5-4. And then you've got the usual suspects, really. Now, this, of course, is not including World Championship wins. Those have been very widespread across multiple different teams over the last few years. As we know, FaZe have won, World Championship. Thieves have won one. Dallas Empire won one, but they're no longer with us. New York, OpTic, as we know. The only real top team that hasn't won a World Championship in the CDL is kind of Toronto Ultra in terms of the fact that they've actually put together some championship runs. They've made a couple of finals, but it's never worked out in their favour quite as of yet. Maybe this year's going to be the story, but you know, the way the league currently looks, maybe not. But FaZe have won plenty of majors, 7 majors in the history of the CDL. This isn't including anything from Modern Warfare 19 because that year they weren't really majors, right? It was home series. A lot of them were online. So, take it as you will. And okay, majors came back and a couple of them were online in Cold War, but at least it was a major. But I guess depends on your perspective on that. But OpTic only winning 2, I know, is a bit of a talking point just because all these other teams have technically been more successful, although the Ultra haven't because OpTic have won 2 majors and a World Championship. That's better than what Ultra have done. But still, intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below on this. Thieves already at 4 major wins. FaZe, of course, topping the lot. But, with 7 majors, they've only, let's say, converted that to 1 World Championship win at the end of the season back in 2021. Every other year, somebody else has won. The Champs Curse, we know, is a thing. It maybe is less of a thing over the last few years than it was, let's say, in the CWL era or even before. But it's still relevant maybe to seeing where these teams are going to be. So that's how the league currently looks over the history of the CDL. I don't know if we're going to see this much, if the CDL is still around for the next 5 years, what is this going to look like? Are we going to see some surprising teams getting eventual major victories? More than likely, yes, over that kind of a span. But right now the league, is increasingly top-heavy / concentrated with the best teams. And as we know this year, Thieves have won 2, FaZe have won 2. Doesn't look especially likely to change at the final 2 events of the season either. What may change the dynamics here is if somebody like Falcons or, one of the other organizations that may or may not come in decides to drop a bag and shake up the league. That may be the conclusion here because I'm not sure where we go from there otherwise. And it's pretty remarkable to look back, let's say, at the World Championship and see that only 2 organizations in COD history have ever won 2 champs events. Envy won 2. Now, okay, they were kind of under different names in the sense that it was Envy, Team Envious, whatever you want to call them, back in 2016 on Black Ops 3, not a bad game, and 2020 they were Dallas Empire. OpTic won as OpTic Gaming, then they won as OpTic Texas. FaZe and Thieves could, do it again and win another World Championship under the same name. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It was Envy, it was OpTic, especially OpTic, like it was actually called OpTic in both cases. But technically it was, kind of a different era. So, FaZe and Thieves technically could break that duck, as it were. but also kind of remarkable. And maybe this is a crazier stat than we give it credit for, really, that every year of the CDL so far has been a different World Championship winning franchise. For that to happen over a 5-year span is, pretty surprising. I think if it happens this year, that's when, it becomes a really crazy stat, because already in the CDL we've had Dallas Empire that no longer exist, Atlanta FaZe, Los Angeles Thieves, then it was New York Subliners, last year OpTic Texas. So every year there's been a different world champion. This year, surely we're going to get someone going back to back. As I say, apart from maybe Toronto, if they were to win it, or I guess Surge or Heretics, right? Like, pretty unlikely, I would say. But no org has ever gone back to back in the history of the event either, because OpTic, of course, have done it twice. Envy did it twice, but, no one went back to back. There were a couple of teams that were kind of close. Envy in 2017, they made the finals from the winners bracket side. OpTic beat them in 2 best-of-5s. So it's nearly been done, but the champs curse has generally been a bit of a thing. But going into the World Championship, one of the big talking points of the last few days has been, why is nobody grinding COD? Now, Shotzzy explains why this is, and one of the key reasons, understandably, is because of the patch update that the pros are playing on. This is one of the big frustrations with the fact that Treyarch can't seem to fix the CODcaster, is that the pros are playing on this very old patch that means if they play ranked, and look, the game is, they can play it. Seemingly Mercules is playing a lot of it and recognizing that, okay, it's maybe not perfect, but it's still more COD to play. There could be 8, they could play that, they could make it work, but, due to the kind of patch situation that the CDL accounts are on, they're not playing as much COD as they could do otherwise, because they want to just focus their efforts on that specific version of the game. Understandable. Maybe some would argue that they could play a different version and still improve at COD, because some things are still very similar, even though the patch has changed a couple of items, but some pros are less willing to do that. Therefore, they're playing other stuff, right? And we've seen a few of the guys playing Splitgate. We've seen a lot of the guys playing Counter-Strike over the last few days. So Clay was talking about this because he's been getting involved in some of the CS that's been played. Of course, it's the major on right now, which whenever the major's on, people always tend to play more CS, right? And it's been a pretty entertaining major so far. And as Clay says, we've got to talk about you asking where your AK went on CT pistol round. If you guys haven't played Counter-Strike, when the half comes to an end, you reset to $800, which is the money you have. There's an economy system in that game. And, Zuma says, Clay, you gave me nothing yesterday. You're terrible. I don't care. Just wait. So, there were some pretty funny replies about this. Clay says, Postmo 1v3. And as Jake Lucky says in the replies, as, this was actually the clip itself here when Zuma was a little bit confused as to why he had to go back to a pistol. But Clay was in the replies with Jake Lucky because he asked, what's going on with all these COD guys playing CS lately? Now, of course, Clay is not competing at Champs. I mean, he's not playing at Champs. He's not even competing because, of course, the team didn't make it in the end. And Zuma's having a good time always. But obviously, it's also been true for many of the COD players as well who actually are going to be there with the World Championship, what they are going to be doing. So, look, Clay says, DreamHack happening, right? Because Counter-Strike was there at the major in Dallas that we had before. The Counter-Strike major is happening right now. I think it's in Austin. The CS2 patch makes it feel way better, right? Because they've, whenever CS2 came out, I played quite a lot of it when it came out. It wasn't, perfect. Compared to CSGO, it didn't feel quite as good. I haven't played CS2 actually, to be fair, I played it the other week. But it definitely does feel better, I think, now than it did when the game launched. Towards the end of the season, slows down a bit on the CDL side. Lots of factors. Bunch of COD pros play, so we can get 10 mans going relatively easily. I mean, you've got to think, right? The guys can't get 8s going for COD going into Champs. I mean, Champs, what's today? The 14th. Champs is in less than a couple of weeks. But yet, 10 mans on CS, yeah, no problem. Plenty of lads for 10 mans on CS. But 8 lads on COD before Champs doesn't seem to be happening, right? So understandably, big debate on what's happening here. I think the thing that Clay he mentions lots of factors, but as Shotzzy's about to describe some of the key factors involved in this one, and Clay also says, okay, who's the best player? He reckons that HyDra's the best, probably Clay or Dashy second best. A bunch of OGs used to be pretty damn good too, like Kremp, but he's not really playing much because he's driving cars and, spending time in the gym and stuff like this. But this is what Shotzzy has to say on the latest podcast. They were talking about why there's lots of players grinding this right now, and also what they've been up to, because Shotzzy makes it clear they've been grinding, they've been putting in the time, they've been putting in the work, and I'm sure that every player is going to say this, and every player will be doing this who's playing at the World Championship to some degree. Mercules has just been playing a fair bit of ranked. Kyler Huke says that when he's not playing COD, he's just watching VOD, like he's just preparing, he's just learning, and that's not necessarily true so much for the other guys. Obviously, Dashy's been playing a bit of CS, we know that full well, but Dashy says, you know what, playing CS is actually helping me play COD a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, we just been grinding, bro. To be honest, we've been grinding, just scrimming. It's kind of just been everyone's life, no bullshit, just scrimming, and then afterwards, I haven't really been playing, bro. There's nothing to play. The new patch is fucking not the same patch, which not that it really would fuck us up, but I think for the other people, like, that's probably like the main reason that no one's playing right now. So yeah, I mean, I look at the H chat. No one's really saying shit. I'm good, and I've just been chilling, to be honest. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Brandon's been playing CS. Mace has been playing fucking ranked. Kyler's, I think, fucking.
I'm trying to break Pro.
I think Kyler's playing Fortnite or some shit. Stop, John. What you been doing?
Since I can't play the game, I'm just watching VOD. I'm gonna be honest. I'm being dead serious.
Bro, I swear CS gets me better at COD though. Like, no bullshit.
My games to do that.
No bullshit.
I swear, I'm not even trolling.
No, like the mental, yeah.
People, I'm actually curious on like other, like at least for like keyboard people. Like, I wonder if they like. I mean, that's the thing though, is that their keyboard games, like, bro, that shit's got like to where they can play that shit 24/7. Dude, I swear, like console games, like our game, like we scrim it so damn much to where like playing ranked, like it's not bad, but like, bro, that shit just feels like a damn chore sometimes. Dude.
No, literally. I feel like for me, it's not necessarily playing CS that actually gets me better at COD, like the actual game. It's just more like having something else to like.
It differently, bro. I swear.
It's just more like having something else to like.
Wind down is the way I put it.
Yeah, I guess like decompress a little bit, but I guess in a way, just if I play another game, it makes me appreciate playing COD a little more than if I'm only playing COD. Because at the beginning of the game, I was playing CS, and that's actually when I was playing like really good. And then like towards the middle of the year, that when I was super grinding COD, and then I feel like it's just like you get kind of put in like a cycle of like the game just doesn't get as fun. It feels a lot more repetitive. It's just like shit like that. So for me, I feel like I play better when I have like another game to like not look forward to, but just play. And then when I get on COD, I'm like, oh, this is fun also. Again, just like kind of reset it.
Yeah.
I'm not like super grinding CS, but it's just more like I'm also making some business moves, you know what I mean? I've been making plays, bro, in the inventory. Just know that. Me and Paco.
Ben Beans, CleanX seem to want to get involved as well in some of these chals and say, look, there's no way HyDra or this, Dashy guy are better than us. Like, we'll get in there as well. Maybe they've been grinding something different. But I know that this is going to cause, a bit of controversy, right? Dashy's grinding the CS. People are like, here we go again. To be fair, is Dashy wrong that it could help him in some way? I don't know, it's interesting. If he was playing another controller game, then I definitely think there's an argument from, OpTic fans to say, look, probably you shouldn't be doing that. If it's a game like this, maybe. I mean, I found personally when I started playing CS, it kind of sharpened up my search and destroy mind, as it were, because the game is, it's basically all search and destroy. Of course, it's much more complicated than COD search. But I think it helped me when I started playing Counter-Strike to understand a bit more about how to play search and destroy in COD. That's not what Dashy says as being a benefit for him. He more feels like he likes playing COD, but he doesn't like playing all the time. And, there's also a feeling in COD about it's quality over quantity in terms of practice. If you're grinding all day and you're just putting in an immense amount of hours, that may be good for you if you can still play at a high level and, commit to quality practice. And I think that's what Dashy's getting at really, is that, he could grind COD all day, but he wouldn't enjoy it as much, and therefore he wouldn't be as locked in to their scrims and to other things as much, and the practice quality wouldn't be as good even if he was putting in more time. But by playing CS instead, it means that the time that he is on COD is more productive. And, whether that's true for other players or what you guys think about that in the comments is certainly a matter for debate, but intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below regardless. Dashy was also at Blaz, you're going crazy on Mirage right now, so look, I know that people are getting ready. Dashy's certainly going to be playing a fair bit of CS in the off season. I'm sure that some would say, okay, maybe he should be playing it now. But at the end of the day, This is why they have the structure over there at OpTic. This is why they've got Damon Karma Barlow, the coach of the team, to kind of enforce the law on some level. If Karma thinks it's okay, if the team thinks it's the thing to do, and their practice in COD is still going very well and they feel like they're making good progress, then you can't deny it might be a beneficial thing for the team. But intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.